All right, welcome to the Literate Man's channel where you don't need to be educated or need to know how to read or write to get ahead in life. Take it with a grain of salt, what I'm about to say. So, why do girls like bad boys? Very simple. Because bad boys are the only ones who are willing to take a risk. They're the only one who can tell the teacher to fuck off. They're the only one who can go get a detention, get expelled, and not give a shit. Obviously, you don't want to be such a bad boy that you become a criminal. This is the world we live in. A lot of the crimes we have today were not crimes even 20, 50 years ago. So we're not going to get into that. Point is, a bad boy is willing to ask a girl out and not feel rejected. A bad boy can run and he's probably not fat. Highly unlikely that he's fat because he's not then a bad boy. A bad boy is physically sometimes imposing, but you have a lot of drug lords and crime lords that are, pretty skinny. And it makes no difference. It's the mindset. It's not about what you just do, right? As if you want to be a bad boy, you have to do things that good boys won't. You're not a fucking teacher's pet. If you're a teacher's pet and you're always looking at, oh, is my teacher gonna like this? Is my, mom's gonna do this? You're not a bad boy. How are you, if you never gotten a detention in your life, if you never smoked weed, if you are like, oh, I don't drink alcohol, yeah, you're not a bad boy. There is nothing about being good that will get you anywhere. You learned what is good in school and primarily in school. That's where you learn how to be obedient. A bad boy is not obedient about these things. He's willing to take a risk. He's willing to do things, drive motorcycle, do high risk things that are cool. And yeah, he could die. That's the point. That is the point. That he is willing to risk his life for something greater than himself. Another thing with a bad boy that you have to understand is that, so here's a story I would like to tell you. Once, this girl and a family came over, longtime family friend. We got a new pet. She freaks out so much, she literally runs into me in such a way that I end up breaking my foot. Let that sink in, okay? This is a highly educated girl from a good family and all this mumble jumble shit, all right? But this is how she behaves. That she became hysterical and frantic and broke my fucking leg. Okay? I'm not downplaying her. What I'm trying to make you understand here is that when you get, okay, let's put it this way. If you and I were stuck in a dark alley and a couple of other friends, 95 to 99% chance you will all rat on each other. You will push each other in order to save your life. Okay? A bad boy is not gonna fucking do that. He's gonna fucking fight. Okay? So if you wanna be a bad boy, you need to learn it's not about getting girls. It has nothing to do with girls. When you get a detention, it's not because, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to impress this girl. She's gonna see I'm a bad boy and then she's gonna love me. No, right? If you are gonna, well, when I used to smoke weed, it wasn't even legal, right? It's not because I wanted to be a bad boy. I always, at that time, because I always wanted to be a good, I was the teacher's pet. But that kind of lifestyle and the way you look at the world is wrong, okay? Because if good boys continues to exist, like you've been taught, okay, you're gonna become what? A computer scientist, an accountant, a janitor. You're gonna basically get a job, right? And you're gonna be getting a mortgage, and you're gonna be paying this shit off until the day you die. And have fun with that, right? You can be a very good student. You can go to get a PhD, get a master's, go to a good university, and you're never gonna get fucking laid. Okay? But you're a good boy. You follow all the rules. You never go over the speed limit. You are the quintessential, dream person for many people. But nobody wants to reproduce with you because your genes is not want to take risk. You're never going to become a dictator. You're never going to, overthrow a government, right? You will not do any of these things because your main job as a good boy is to follow the rules and to rat out people who don't follow the rules, right? One of the biggest problem in the Western world, especially with white people in general, I have noticed, is that the fact that they're schooled. One of the biggest difference between even Eastern European white people and the Western white people is the fact that with an Eastern white person, a black person, an Arab, a Chinese, an Indian, Latina, all of these people, you can ask for favors. Sometimes there are rules and they're like, dude, hey man, can you just help me out a little? Do me a little favor. I know it's a little late. Can you still do X, Y, and Z? They'll be like, yeah, man, no worries. I know you, you know me. Yeah. A lot of white people do this as well, especially if you're more rural. But when it comes to the city goer white people who are extremely liberal, likes to follow the rules, believe everything that they were taught in school, this is the programming that makes you into a coward. Okay? This is not a race thing, right? The only reason the Western people are the way they are is because they went to school. And ever since you go to school, teaching little children that you need to take permission to piss and to take a shit. So that's called indirect genital manipulation. Not mutilation, manipulation, right? So I'm taking a bunch of kids. I'm going to have a teacher in the front dictating all day long. I'm going to split you up based on your age. And then, because that way the family, if you have a bunch of brothers and sisters, you're never going to be in the same classroom. And every year you're going to have a different set of groups. So for 12 years, I'm making sure that I'm going to rid you of any loyalty to anyone because you have never formed any bonds. This is one of the biggest problems with the Western world and the way they educate. It's not by accident. And now we are taking this model and applying it in the rest of the world and teaching people that if they don't follow this Western style of education and teaching little children that they need to hold on their piss and their shit because what the teacher is saying is so fucking important, well, let me tell you something. It's not fucking important. It never was, and it never will be. It wasn't important to write Shakespeare essays when I was in school because it was a waste of my fucking time. It is still today. Okay? That is what you need to understand. This is not about getting girls. You want to change the world. Change yourself. I'm not asking you to go to prison or break laws. But if you become a true bad boy, and when the bad boy matures, then he becomes like a king, a dictator, a politician. Some good, some bad. But you get the point. Some bad boys will go on, adrenaline junkies. They rock climb, they jump off, on motorcycles and whatnot. That's one style. Others will become like hardcore hackers, right? Back in the days, you had burglars, thieves, all these type of people that were around. Yeah, they were all bad. I know. Yeah, I'm not saying that you should become those things. But you have to find what is important to you and how you can stretch it. So I've told you what the bad boy is, right? I've told you how you became a good boy. And now I'll tell you how you can change certain aspects of your life. So one of the most important thing, one of the most revolutionary thing you can do to go against the system is intermittent fasting. The whole concept of eating 3 meals a day, you have to say, go fuck yourself. Okay? Fuck the 3 meals a day. All right? Fuck it. That's not how you do things. You need to learn intermittent fasting because you need to learn control how your stomach and what goes in your mouth and what comes out of your ass. To be able to do that and regulate it. So you're not eating constantly and everything. The second thing you need to do is get in shape. This took me 15 years to figure out. Okay? So don't tell me, oh, I'm, this big, that big. I know it's fucking hard. Figuring out how to lose weight was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. It took fucking 15 years. Man, you can take a dog, put it on a diet, and it can lose the weight. There's no animal on earth who's like, oh yeah, I can't lose weight. It doesn't exist. I can give you any pet in the world and you're going to be able to lose weight. So get shape, learn intermittent fasting, and learn how to fight. Take any boxing course, right? Even if you don't spar, even if you never want to do these type of things, do any physically grueling activity. If you don't want to learn how to fight, go wrestling, learn fencing, learn to pull weights, lift weights, whatever the heck, running, anything physical that where you lose track of time, you can't breathe, and you get so fucking tired that you can't tell up from down. If you keep pushing yourself to this exhaustion level, you're going to achieve something. And this change in you, okay? Just let me give you an example. You want to go to the gym. You're like, oh, dude, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds, but I don't think I'm gonna get girls. Yeah, you probably won't because it's not the 30 pounds that's gonna get you the girls, right? What you don't understand is that for you to be able to pull off gym for 6 months straight, even when you don't feel like it, even when the weather is shit, even when you have stuck in traffic, it's not so much going to the gym and doing the gym stuff, which might be, 20 minutes to 40 minutes that you do. It's the fact that your whole life has to now support it. All the decisions you make, sleeping early, eating the right food, not staying out late on certain days because that's your schedule. You need to make rules and follow it yourself. Fuck everyone else's rules. These rules, the rules of, intermittent fasting, how to do it, getting fit, all of these things. All right. And you also have to learn and educate yourself where a lot of the laws and rules and regulations in society came from. That is not the point of this video. I want you to learn how to be a bad boy. Why? Because they get laid. No one else does. Okay? So the way you to become a bad boy is by doing things and pushing yourself in your own comfortable. There is no one's gonna give you a black belt. Oh, I'm a bad boy now, right? And guys who have a lot of partners, they're not gonna go around telling, or they don't have a list of, oh yeah, I slept with 300 women. That's fucking ridiculous. No one does that. If any guy ever tells you this kind of shit, they're fucking lying. Okay? So get fit, learn intermittent fasting, and any other activities that you think is risky. And everyone has a different risk tolerance. So it's not about, I'm going to take the biggest risk possible. Okay? So stop being a teacher's pet. Stop believing in everything that was taught to you school, because the greatest trauma that came to you is not from your parents or their divorces or their, all these things. It's where you spent 8 to 12 hours a day. First you were put into daycare, then you're put into school, and then you're put into a job. Your entire life revolves around that. When you start working and reach a certain age, after a while, a lot of your enthusiasm for other things is going to start to wither away. Why? Because you never cultivated it. You never let it grow. So another thing so that's where I would like to leave it. So if you want to be a bad boy, you have to understand that you were taught to be a good boy in school. Okay? What makes a bad boy different is the fact that they're willing to take a risk, even if it puts them in a bad situation. And if they're in a dark alley, they're going to stand down and fight. Okay? Again, don't take the things I'm saying literally. Okay? Put it in your head, let it marinate. You hear me a couple of times, and you're going to start making decisions differently. That's the point. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to speak to you soon. Take care.